Before we visit our top 10 attractions in Paris, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and safe travels. Top 10 attractions to visit in Paris. Number 10, Panthéon. The Panthéon is a monument located in the 5th arrondissement of Paris, France. It stands in the Latin Quarter, atop the Montagne Sainte-Geneviève, in the center of the Place du Panthéon, which was named after it. Along with the art, architecture, and science, you'll want to visit the various graves, particularly those of famous French citizens. Then, after touring the mausoleum, ascend to the balcony, which is more than 270 steps. From the dome you can enjoy one of the best views of Paris. The Panthéon was reconsecrated and re-secularized several times during the 19th century. Today it is a civic building that serves as a repository for the remains of great French citizens, including Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Victor Hugo, Émile Zola, and Marie Curie. Number 9, Jardin du Luxembourg. The Jardin du Luxembourg, or known in English as the Luxembourg Garden, is often referred to as the Jardin du Sénat, is located in the 6th arrondissement of Paris, France. Creation of the garden began in 1612 when Marie de Medici, the widow of King Henry IV, constructed the Luxembourg Palace as her new residence. The construction of the palace and its magnificent garden started in 1615 after she had purchased the land in the year 1612. It would eventually take 30 years for the project to be completed in the year 1645. This large garden consists of lawns, flower beds, large promenades with trees, sculptures, and a monumental fountain referred to as the Medici Fountain, named after the woman who built it. The garden is also occupied by multiple large basins of water, and is one of the most popular places in Paris to hang out with children. Number 8, Les Invalides. Les Invalides is formerly known as the Hôtel National des Invalides, also Hôtel des Invalides, is a complex of buildings located in the 7th arrondissement of Paris, France, containing museums and monuments, all relating to the military history of France, as well as a hospital and a retirement home for war veterans, which was the building's original purpose. The buildings house the Musée de l'Armée, the Military Museum of the Army of France, the Musée des Plans Reliefs, and the Musée d'Histoire Contemporaine. King Louis XIV did not let anything stop the construction of the Les Invalides. This includes the space around it as it was being built. In doing so, he allowed the architect to have complete freedom to be creative with his design. The location of this building back then was outside the city center and was known as the Plain of Grenelle. The construction of this amazing compound was finished around 1676. Les Invalides faces the sloping boardwalk by the river. There are 15 courtyards, with the vastest being La Cour d'Honneur that was used for military parades. Number 7, Montmartre. Montmartre is a very large hill located in the Paris's 18th arrondissement. Montmartre is about 427 feet high and is part of the right bank in the northern section of the city. Topped by the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, Montmartre is known as the highest hill in the City of Lights at 128 meters. This area was rural until about 1900. Montmartre became famous in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which brought the arrival of penniless artists like Auguste Renoir, Vincent van Gogh, and Pablo Picasso. There was, however, another reason for the increase of so many artists. It is because of the tax-free wine. Around the end of the 19th century, Montmartre was still officially considered to be outside of the city limits, and so wine wasn't subject to Parisian taxes. Number 6, Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is best known as a cabaret located in Paris, on Boulevard de Clichy, at Place Blanche, the intersection of, and terminus of Rue Blanche. Around 1889, the Moulin Rouge was co-founded by Charles Zidler and Joseph Faller, who also owned the Paris Olympia. The original venue was destroyed by fire in 1915. One fun fact about the Moulin Rouge is that back in the late 1800s, electricity was still brand new, and the Moulin Rouge was the first building in the whole city to use this amazing new technology. This is how the windmill's arms spun around and the building caught fire. The Moulin Rouge was known as one of the largest entertainment facilities in Paris. It had a very large dance floor where the dancers would perform, but it also had a back garden where there were donkey rides to entertain guests. Number 5, Latin Quarter. The Latin Quarter was also known as the 5th arrondissement. The quaint Latin Quarter is where you'll find the Sorbonne University and many tasty cafes. It's also known for its bookshops, including the landmark Shakespeare and Company. Family-friendly attractions include the Jardin des Plantes Botanical Gardens and the National Museum of Natural History. The stately Panthéon building holds the remains of notables like Voltaire and Marie Curie. The Latin Quarter dates back to the Middle Ages, when the Université de Paris was founded in the 13th century. La Sorbonne College of the Université de Paris attracted great scholars from all over Europe who learned and spoke Latin, explaining the quarter's name. The Latin Quarter is famous for bars and cabarets and is home to Paradis Latin, one of the oldest cabarets in Paris. It was designed by great Gustave Eiffel himself. Next to the Pantheon is the Sainte Geneviève Library, the world's first independent public library. Number 4. Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile is one of the most famous monuments you'll find while in Paris, France, standing at the western end of the Champs-Élysées at the center of Place Charles de Gaulle, formerly named Place de l'Étoile, the étoile or star of the juncture formed by its 12 beautiful avenues. The Arc de Triomphe was meant to honor those who fought and died for France during the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. It has the names of all of the French victories and generals inscribed on its inner and outer surfaces. Under its vault you'll find the tomb of the unknown soldier from the First World War. The Arc de Triomphe Paris is roughly 162 feet tall and about 150 feet wide. The Arc de Triomphe was known as the biggest arch in the world up until the North Korean dictator Kim Il-sung built a bigger arch inspired by it in 1922. The Arc de Triomphe was commissioned by Napoleon to commemorate the victory of France in the Battle of Austerlitz. Number 3. Notre Dame Cathedral. Notre Dame de Paris, is often referred to simply as Notre Dame, is a Marcellus medieval Catholic cathedral located on the Ile de la Cité, in the 4th arrondissement of Paris. The cathedral is dedicated to the Virgin Mary, which is considered to be one of the finest examples of French Gothic architecture. Construction of Notre Dame Cathedral began around 1163 and took over 100 years to complete. The main hall was constructed first with the towers, embellishments, choir and chapels added over time until it was finally completed in 1345. Notre Dame de Paris is also called Notre Dame Cathedral, Cathedral Church in Paris. It is the most famous of the Gothic cathedrals of the Middle Ages and is best known for its size, antiquity, and architectural interest. Number 2. Louvre Museum. The Louvre, or the Louvre Museum, is the world's most visited museum, and is known as a historic landmark in Paris, France. It is the home of some of the best-known works of art, including the world-famous Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo. The Louvre is also known to be the largest art museum in the world and is looked up to for its incredible collection of artworks by a number of great artists. The museum is also the home of Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, also a prominent painting for being the world's most expensive artwork. Number 1. Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is a wrought iron lattice tower on the Champ de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose company designed and built the tower. Gustave Eiffel was certainly the object of general envy among Parisians during his lifetime, and it wasn't just for designing one of the most famous monuments of all time. Rather, it was due to the fact that he had a private apartment at the top of the tower, and almost no one else was allowed to have access to it. The layer of paint that protects the metal of the tower is very effective, but it must be periodically replaced. The tower has been repainted for over 130 years, about once every 7 years.